In the meantime, the Trump administration's Department of Justice announcing a probe into the city of Chicago's hiring practices after comments made by Mayor Brandon Johnson at a local church event over the weekend.
Our people hire our people. Business and Economic Neighborhood Development, the deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor is a black woman. Chief Operations Officer is a black man. Budget Director is a black woman. Senior Advisor is a black man. That's how we ensure long-term sustainable growth.
All right, well, these comments now cited in this letter to the mayor's office as a potential violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which condemns hiring based on race. Mayor Johnson refutes those claims, stating he will not apologize for his diversity within his office and calling the makeup of the Trump administration a, quote, reflection of country club rather than country.
You know, as my administration reflects the country, reflects the city, his administration reflects the country club. And that is the biggest difference between what we're doing in Chicago and what is coming from the federal government. We're going to remain firm and steadfast in our commitment to ensure that the incredible diverse talent that we have within our administration that continues to lead us towards the safest, most affordable big city in America, we're not going to shy away or apologize for who we are.
All right, let's bring in investigative reporter and anchor for our NewsNation affiliate WGN here in Chicago, Ben Bradley. Ben, great to see you. Before we start talking about some of the comments, let's just talk about this DOJ probe. Do we know what that's going to entail?
The letter sets up a meeting. I think this is a great example, though, of the tail wagging the dog. You had the mayor's comments on Sunday igniting a social media firestorm in some circles, which ignited this potential DOJ investigation. You know, the letter specifically says that, the investigation is started because of Mayor Brandon Johnson's suggestion that his hiring was based on race. But if you listen to his comments, that's not specifically what he said. He was listing out black members of his administration who he said specifically understand the needs of black Chicagoans, and they are in a unique position to help other black Chicagoans out. You can object to that language all you want, but he never came out and said, oh, I only hire black people. And if you look at the statistics, as you do now, the staff that's in the actual office of the mayor in Chicago is about a third, black, white, and Hispanic. And that's also roughly the demographics of the city of Chicago. P.S. I can tell you, in Chicago's sordid racial history, that has not always been the case. In fact, many administrations for many decades were stocked with white people.
Yeah, and we know, whenever you start talking about race, it does make people uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I do want to talk more about what the mayor said. Let's listen to a bit more from him.
There are some detractors that will push back on me and say, the only thing that the mayor talks about is the hiring of black people. No, what I'm saying is when you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else. We are the most generous people on the planet.
Okay, so Ben, we know that the Trump administration is not trying to hide its anti-DEI focus. And I do think it's important to reiterate that just because somebody is black or because someone is a woman or non-white, it does not automatically make them a DEI hire. I feel like we have to shout that to the rooftops. But was the mayor potentially baiting the administration? I mean, does he want the attention from the feds for some reason?
Isn't that the big debate, Nicole? Is either side here, Chicago's mayor or the Trump administration, are they playing three-dimensional chess here? Are they baiting each other? No, sometimes I think it's as simple as Chicago's mayor, a black mayor who talks about his blackness a lot, was in a black church on the south side of Chicago talking about what he's done to empower black Chicagoans. In the same way, Donald Trump has spoken on the other side about his anti-DEI views and that race should not be the deciding factor or an influencing factor in somebody's hiring. So I think both sides are saying what they have always said. The difference here is the Trump administration is using the Justice Department to make its points for it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.